My name is Jordan Mariello. I'm the Chief Security Officer at Critical Start. I've been here for 10 years. I've been in cybersecurity and IT for 23 years. It's the only thing I've ever done.
My name is Carl Narber, and my role at Critical Start is a Technical Account Manager.
Hi, I'm Suhail Ramatullah. I am a Senior SOC Engineer here at Critical Start.
My name is Savannah Overly, and I am a Lead Analyst at the SOC.
So when our CEO, Rob, came with the idea of starting a managed services business, and nobody even called it MDR yet, it was just kind of SOC as a service or MSSP. Initially, I thought this was a terrible idea. And that was primarily driven by my experience as a customer of managed security services at some of my prior jobs. And I knew that if we were going to do this, we had to do some things very different to make it something that would be of high quality, that would meet our standards, that would match what the Critical Start brand had begun to represent in the cybersecurity industry. A big part of that is how do you build and develop people that are going to be great SOC analysts? One of the chief challenges we face in our industry is talent acquisition, talent retention, talent development. So we built an entire program around how are we going to recruit top talent? How are we going to train them to be the absolute best in the industry? How are we going to retain them for long term?
I decided to join Critical Start because I was looking for actual career growth in my life. At the time I was a teacher, I taught math, and my friend reached out to me with this opportunity at a cybersecurity company. And I thought, that's an interesting field. My dad worked in IT previously, and it just seemed very exciting. When I went for my first interview, the people were very lively and clearly very intelligent, so I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to be in that culture, in that environment, and grow from it.
Actually, I decided to join Critical Start because I was applying for multiple different jobs at the time relating to data and security. So my degree was in international studies, and for that, most of my research focused on national and international security, like physical security relating to the military. And so I had taken a handful of computer science courses and AI machine learning courses in college, and I found that cybersecurity was a really great way to fuse the two interests together. And so somewhere along the line of my job application journey, I stumbled upon Critical Start, and it was out of state for me at the time, so it was a big leap for me to take. But I remember reading the Glassdoor reviews that were just overwhelmingly positive for the company and the company culture, and it really sold me on being excited for my interview and wanting to really pursue it as an opportunity.
What advice would I give my 25-year-old self? I would say quit what you're doing and do what you're good naturally at. I came at Critical Start here because in my degree, because I'm naturally good at computers, I'm naturally good at my cyber forensics, and I wanted to expand on that more as I came here.
We start training programs from the ground up. Our training program is 3 months long for a level 1 SOC analyst. We do everything from intro to IT again, all the way up through vulnerability analysis and ethical hacking, and we continue forward further from there into advanced skills as we go up to level 2, level 3 senior analysts, senior SOC engineers, more advanced roles in the organization. We still teach things like malware reversing for static malware and assembly programming in-house. And all this is things that help develop the careers of our SOC analysts so that we're maximizing retention and talent development and building a culture that is a place that people want to learn, grow, and stay at for the long term.
I first started in the SOC as a Tier 1 analyst. I moved over into implementations and customer success as an engineer, and then now I've moved over to my role as a Technical Account Manager.
As I stepped into this role, it was an entirely different side of working in the SOC. Before, I was looking at alerts, investigating, escalating those alerts to make sure that our clients were aware of whatever threats were facing their organization. And as I moved to become a senior SOC engineer, my role was really as a part of the incident team. We do deep dive investigations on a particular occurrence, a particular alert that has happened, and the client wants either some more clarity, find out the scope, find out the background of how that occurred. And by doing those deep dive investigations, it allowed me to really understand the intricacies of each of these different platforms and how to investigate on a whole new level.
My job role has changed since I started at Critical Start. I started as just a security analyst back in the SOC, and I stayed in that role for about a year before I was promoted to senior analyst, which came with a couple new responsibilities, such as being able to work more independently on the alerts that I'm escalating and analyzing, and having a little bit more responsibility as far as helping manage and monitor other team members on our shift and being able to help them with what they were working on. And then after a couple months of being a senior, I was promoted to lead, and so now I've gone from being just an analyst on shift to being a lead in under 2 years. So it's been a fantastic journey so far.
If I had to give any new employees any piece of advice when joining our SOC, it is, don't be afraid to say, I don't know. When I was interviewing for my role, there were plenty of questions that I responded to with, I don't know, and they hired me anyway, and I was confused as to why. But saying I don't know and asking the question, how does this really work, is going to get you those answers at this company, because people care to provide you with knowledge. The thing that surprised me the most about Critical Start was how open people at any level in this company are to engaging with you, be it the CEO or the head of the SOC. They're all willing to engage so that they can see from your perspective. The reasoning that's been provided to me as to why this is the case is because good ideas come from anywhere. And everyone has a lot to learn from one another, regardless of where you are at. Someone who is a new analyst can bring an entirely new perspective and solve a problem that has been plaguing the company for a while. New perspectives matter, and that openness has really allowed for fluid transformation and being able to approach the new problems that we face every day.
The piece of advice that I would give to women that are interested in entering the tech space or working in tech is that there's a reality that the tech space and working in tech is currently dominated by men, and we are going to be the minority in that. The one thing that Critical Start has taught me is that everyone here is treated as an equal, and I've never experienced any kind of problems interacting with anyone else regardless of my gender or sex. And so it's been a really great experience here, and I think that for women who just want to be in the space and go into working in tech, they just have to go into it with an open mind and be willing to work with everyone just as an individual, not really focusing on their gender or sex.
Remember when we first started the SOC, and we were looking at hiring the first 5 SOC analysts, and I ran the training program myself, and we were all sitting in an office space that was the size of our break room. Actually, it was probably about a third of the size of our break room, and managing an entire security operations center 24/7 with 5 people at the time. We've grown from 5 to 65 security analysts now, 65 SOC analysts now. We have 2 locations now here in Dallas and in Lehi, Utah for the second SOC. And when we look at the key things that really drove that growth, those are still the key things that run the business today. We certainly had a lot of fun, and we have a lot of great stories about those days when we're all crammed into a tiny room together, but we still have so much incredible future in front of us right now and an opportunity to build even more of those stories.